I did level 1, and the intention of doing level 1 was that, in all of the roles that I've had in corporate, I've found myself coaching, whether it's, helping individuals or helping teams, but I felt like what I lacked was a real kind of structure and rigor around that. And so that's what I wanted, and IECL came so highly regarded that I went in and did level 1, loved it, and then got so much out of it that thought, you know what, I'm going to come back and do level 2. I found that the skills are so incredibly transferable. So what you're learning obviously is how to create an environment where you're coaching somebody to be their best, to overcome pressure, to strategize for what they want. And that applies no matter where you are, whether it's one-to-one executive coaching, whether it's with a team of people, or often in my mentoring. So I spend a lot of time mentoring young women in business, and I find that everything that I've learned within that coaching course and the training is directly applicable, and I just tweak and I maneuver, and I'm able to deliver something that is ideal for what that person needs or what that team actually needs. The top things, I would say probably 3. The first one that I loved was this idea that as a coach, we believe in the potential of the person that we're working with. And I love that concept because my background is psychology. I've spent a lot of time working with people, and I feel so energized when I'm able to do that. And I've always had that as a very much a core belief. So to find that that's a very central tenet of coaching and the training, it was really beautiful. So there was that. There was this idea of healthy tension, which is where, silence is also almost golden. If you're in a position where you're able to just hold a little bit of silence to really encourage someone else to reflect on themselves, reflect on their decisions, and to actually come up with solutions themselves, that's so valuable because we often forget to do that in the world of work. We're often in solution mode, giving advice, telling people what we think they should do. As a coach, it's kind of taking that moment back, creating that healthy tension. And I use it at home with my husband too, so it works a treat. And I think the third one was just around the structure of what a coaching conversation actually is. Because I know a lot of people will say, oh, well, I coach. I do that every day. I am a coach. But really, when you get down to it, there's a lot of theory and practicality and context and structure and framework that you need to make sure that you're actually delivering the best possible service to the person that you're working with so that they can be their best. But what I see happens is through this relationship, which becomes one of trust, one of confidence, but also one where they feel like they can open up and they become comfortable being very vulnerable. They have their own incredible moments of insight and these pearls of wisdom that they develop and deliver themselves that they didn't actually know that they had within them. So what I love seeing is almost being a facilitator to help someone else recognize that they've got all the tools and the resources, it's just that they need someone to help them uncover that. Oh, so many things. I use it all the time. So often, obviously with coaching, directly coaching clients at any level, from executive level, graduate level, also with mentoring, but I find also with teams, it's a bit of a different way of looking at it, but you can use those same themes and those same practices and frameworks and actually use it in a team environment. And what you're doing then is leveraging the dynamic of that team so that they start to also hold each other accountable as well. So that's really useful. You can apply the principles no matter where you go and what you're doing. Look, I think in any kind of personal relationship, whether it is, a husband and wife, a spouse, a close friend, a family member, I think there's so much we can add when we understand how to coach. And it's a fine line, obviously. I don't want him to start to say, oh, you're always coaching me. But it's about playing that role of that facilitator, being there to support and believe in someone else and asking the right questions so that they can come to their own conclusions and essentially forge their own path. So, I encourage anyone who has very close relationships with people to actually apply what they learn to those relationships to get the most out of them and help those people to be their best. So I'll be honest, before I did coach training, I actually didn't really know what it would entail. So the first half day I was sitting there going, oh, okay, this is interesting. Oh, okay, I'm learning what it actually is. And very early on, I realized that coach training is not just for people who are coaches. It's not just for leaders. It's not just for anyone who is in a position where they see themselves coaching. The frameworks, the techniques, the concepts are actually beneficial to anybody, no matter where they're at in their career, whether they're working for an organization or even working for themselves. I think, again, from my background in psychology, I really appreciate anything that taps into the motivators of human behavior and what people do with their time, why they do it, and the decisions that they make. And I found that this course and what we learnt throughout this course directly links into all of that. Helps you understand people more, and then again, empower you with the tools to be able to help them on their journey. So it's, again, very wide ranging, I would say, leaders, existing coaches, and anybody who just feels that they want to be able to be a better team player and develop those skills around empowering others. So as a workshop facilitator myself, developing programs myself, I also really appreciate programs that are delivered in a way that understands how adults learn best. And the reality is, adults learn best when they are engaged, when it's exciting, when it's different, when it's challenging. And I found that the program through IECL has this perfect balance between content and theory, and then moving directly into practical application and giving it context, because they're the biggest parts that we then take away and we remember. And the overarching feeling that I had after leaving those was fun. I had so much fun and made so many wonderful connections with the other people who were part of that cohort. So I was really impressed with the quality of the delivery, the quality of the content, and then how we all felt as participants as we moved forward